Hi, good morning, viewers, and welcome to Global Entertainment News Breakfast Show, your daily dose of news and updates. I am Stephen, your host, and joining me in the studio today are
Sola, Bella.
we're taking today's story from Punch and Vanguard newspaper. Today's top story from Punch: residents lament as disco plugs Lagos Air Force Base into 12 days blackout. The residents of the Sam Etin Air Force Base, Ikeja, Lagos, are lamenting on 12 days blackout that has grounded business and causes water scarcity in the barracks. Gathered in separate interviews with the residents on Monday that the prolonged blackout has forced them to patronize cart pushers for water and exorbitant price. Our correspondent also learns that the blackout has been a prolonged challenge the residents who face with speaking with our correspondent, a resident who identified himself simply as Precious disclosed that the small business owners such as tailor, grocery stores, laundry and other essential services have been affected by the blackout. Wow, this is really
Yeah, inside Eton Air Force Base around that Ikeja. I don't expect this to actually be happening in a barrack as well because that place is where the lighting should have actually be constant in it because that is a barrack Air Force Base as well. So now Lagos government needed to look into the strip days of blackout is not really a good thing because
just imagine this kind of situation right now. Just imagine them being under an attack now. How would they be able to
to exactly that is what we are talking about. Light is very very important in Nigeria. Like when that is what our government don't. I think they are not even paying attention to it because they're talking about the 12 days blackout and then actually acknowledge those that have been in a blackout for complete 1 year or so. There's a whole lot that our government really needs to come into and do because right now we are really, really suffering when it comes to light. We are not topping any charts when it comes to electricity at all.
well, Badagry Cement Corridor. Moving on to the next story we have for you today. The Badagry Cement Corridor accounted for 35% of smuggled fuel custom sales. The Nigerian Customs Service has said that the Badagry Cement Corridor accounted for 35% of smuggled premium motor spirits in last 2 weeks. The controller the Comptroller General of Custom Adewale Adeniyi stated that while showcasing some seized volume of petrol at the Custom Training College in Ikeja on Monday. He said the comprehensive analysis of the pattern of seizure across the axis reveals significant insight into the dynamic smuggling tactic and dominant routes being exploited by these saboteurs.
Well, the Badagry accounting for like 35% of smuggling is not a new thing because they are on the water side. And then if there is going to be anything of this crude oil, they also have their own part take in it. So petrol smuggling is not about someone that just feels like they have the power, they have the right because it's in their community, they can just smuggle. No, even when we talk about this petrol smuggling of a thing, the government as well, and then those that has power are involved in all this. If it's going to come through a common man, then you know that okay, this person is just being employed into the work to do it. It's not actually his own income that is in it. It's just being there to or as employee that you know how to refine this oil in a local way, then do it. But the thing is that those people with powers and those politicians that is actually under this smuggling of petrol, why aren't they not be caught? And it's just the ordinary people that is being employed to it.
It will surely be the ordinary people that they employed it with that will be caught because even though if they are being caught, they won't showcase the person that is behind them, that is at their back. They will never do it. It's like them being betraying
Not
their
not.
their
I don't think
their
they will.
leaders.
They
They
won't do it.
won't mention names.
They
because
will.
they won't. Because if they have been mentioning it, except if the government, or let me say, if the police are not doing their job, they will have, everybody will have known the people that is behind all this for a
Nigeria
very long time.
is a good covering up for when it comes to people in power, when it comes to people that has the power and has the money. This security personnel would definitely want to protect this kind of the people if they find out. If the name is being mentioned, the security personnel will protect them. They will even use money to cover up the
Exactly, and they
trace.
can even blackmail them.
So it's not as if that they are not calling them. It's just as if that it was only their name that is being published, while the real
Those people
corporates
that are behind
are
it.
just there to use money to clear up their name.
So it's something our government needs to really look into. Alright, moving on to the next story we have for you today from Punch. Federal government approves 734 billion naira for Oyo, Ogbomoso Road and others. The federal government on Monday approved 733.89 billion naira for the digitalization of the Oyo Ogbomoso Road in Oyo State, among other projects. Ministry of Work David Umahi announced this to State House correspondents after the 24th Federal Executive Council meeting at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Utilization of the Ibadan-Ilorin Road Section 2 cover Oyo-Ogbomoso in Oyo State, and it is valued at 147.89 billion naira. The 147 kilometer stretch is reconstructed with reinforced concrete pavement, and the contract was awarded to GRVE.
Well, I'm not going to say that our government here is not doing a bit of, should I say a bit, or they are not doing what it's supposed to be doing. But um, a road construction right now at this economic is really a concerning issue right now, because a whole lot of people, let me say motorists, people are abandoning that petrol purchasing because of the pricing hike in petrol when it comes to that, and then constructing a road at this time that the economic is really below is not what I actually, that amount is supposed to be on another things for for the infrastructure of Nigeria to get a betterment before we think of, okay, let the road be put into order.
That, constructing of road is also part of what we need, because accidents are always happening on the road. It's one of the things they need to do. But when they are not doing anything, they are not doing anything, how will you, when they are not doing anything now, there is no way you'll be like, okay, this construction of the road is not the next thing on the agenda, it's not what you ought to do. But if they are doing what they want to do, they ought to do bit by bit, everything will be okay. It's not necessary they do everything at once, but bit by bit, and everything will be good. Do you understand? Construction of roads is also one of the agenda they need to do, because accidents are always happening. Accepted drivers to their ignorance, but what of the roads that are bad? Potholes everywhere.
Well, on that part is not that the road is not what we need as well, but right now I think that one of those let me say community roads, all that community roads and all that, they are really in, they needed the attention of the government. But
The community is not the project of federal
I
government,
know
project
it's
of the
not the
state,
Yeah,
yes,
states.
it's
state
the
and
local
local government.
government and all that. But right now, that road is not actually what we need in Nigeria right now, because there's a whole lot that needed that amount of money to be put together and then use it for something else.
Moving away from the Oyo Ogbomoso road construction, the next story we have for you from Punch today is Kebbi, Bauchi, Kano rebuff CAN, says schools remain closed. The Kebbi, Bauchi and Kano state governments have reaffirmed that the holiday granted to both primary and secondary schools in the state for Ramadan fast will not be reconsidered, despite concern raised by the Christian Association of Nigeria. Speaking with the Punch on Monday, the chief press secretary to the Kebbi State Governor, Ahmed Indi, stated that the decision was made after consulting all relevant stakeholders, including religion leaders and parents. We are not reversing a decision. The closure of schools was a result of the meeting with all relevant stakeholders, including religious leaders, parents and others. The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Muslim communities were carried along before the decision was reached, said Injus.
Is this what we're supposed to be fighting for right now at this moment? I don't think it's what we're supposed to be fighting for at this moment.
You know,
Because
when a case is being brought, I believe when something is being brought down, it needs to be settled the way it is, rather than keeping it down for another time to come.
how,
It's something that is
how
really concerned in the north now. When it comes to this Muslim fasting, most people are complaining about the insecurity and this and that. Some are complaining about they need to go back to school. Some say they should stay at home. Many things are really going on now in Kebbi.
I'm telling you the fact because right now we are going to have a 5 whole week to be at home because there's Ramadan fasting and then children that are not even non-Muslim that is attending the same
Be
school.
affected.
How will they cope with this 5 whole weeks to just be at home? I'm going to say the fact that Nigerian religious has really eaten deep into us. Religious has really eaten deep into us, and then I wonder how it's going to be easy for us to actually pull out of this.
We are
Because
getting there.
if things is if we keep on putting religious in front of everything, in front of whatever we needed to do, we needed to consult the God before we know who is going to be the next president. We needed to pray and fast before we know if our sin is being and all that. Nothing is actually going to get better because they're thinking that the Christians have enough holiday when it comes to Christmas and Easter, while the Muslim does not have holidays when it comes to fasting. And I don't I wanted to put my head around it. I feels like fasting does not has to be something that needed the entire whole week or a whole month for you to just like put everybody in a hold or whatever they are doing. These students are being affected right now. Children that don't even know anything, that they don't even partake in all this. We are putting them through that stress.
And if they stay at home, they might lose focus. So it will
Exactly.
be another stress for the teachers when they resume because they will have to start afresh.
They're saying that the parents and then all other
Where
stakeholders. What
they
about
put
the
hand
Minister
in
of
mouth.
Education? Was it the one that actually approved this holiday to be done?
All right, let's move forward. Stay to the next story we have for you from Punch today. The federal government, NMPCL, work out 7.7 trillion naira fuel subsidy debt payment. The federal government, in the indebtedness to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, has extenuated different, differential subsidy for the importation of premium petrol spirits petrol rose to 7.7 trillion naira as of September 2024, when the regulation of the downstream oil sector was fully implemented. This amount covered the cost of maintaining a specific price range in the retail market despite acquiring the products at a higher rate between June 2023 and September 2024. This was disclosed in a presentation by the National Oil Company to the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee at its February meeting in Abuja. Other correspondents obtained a copy of the documents on Monday.
7.7
7
trillion naira for
trillion.
the subsidy. I remember. Uh, I don't even know how to even put this into word as if Nigeria is being indebted to the NNPCL that needed to be about the subsidies removal. The subsidies that is being removed for the since 2023 till now has not even taken any improvement from it. And now we are hearing that Nigeria
Is in
and the
debt.
federal government is in debt with the NNPCL with 7.7
7
trillion
trillion naira.
naira.
One question now is that the loans that they are collecting, what are they using it to do?
That that
When
loan
we
that
are in
loan
debt
that loan is
to the
not supposed
NNPC,
is not involved on it. The loan is not involved on it. The government actually going for a loan for World Bank or China and all that is on another project entirely that on unseen project. Let me just put it like that. That
that are
is
not done.
that are not done. But this one is within us. is among us, we Nigerian, and then the NNPCL talking being or federal government being indebted to the NNPCL is like, how come? I thought this supposed to be for the government, or the how come is Nigeria now being indebted to the NNPCL that they needed to clear the sum of seven point
7.72
seventy
is
four
a lot.
trillion naira? That is too much.
It's a lot.
Well, I believe the federal government know the normal protocol to take, and then the NNPCL will definitely come after them and make them totally pay that amount. All right, moving straight to the top story we have for you from Vanguard today. UK Nigerian strengthen trade ties on national quality policy. The federal government and the United Kingdom have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening trade relations and economic growth through the implementation of Nigerian National Quality Policy (NNQP) under the Standard Partnership Programme (SPP) Phase 2. The SPP Phase 2, which was officially launched in June 2024 with support from the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office (FCDO) during the African Organisation for Standard (AOSO) General Assembly in Abuja, is designed for both countries to eliminate technical trade barriers, improve regulatory compliance and promote export competitiveness.
Well, I would say that that is a good one. If that is an improvement though for the United States of America and then Nigeria, because yes, we have the, let me say, the low quality of some product that we are using in Nigeria, and then they're trying to be in partnership with Nigeria. I hope our let me say our traders actually do whatever they needed to do with honesty and transparency, because there might actually be the fact that where they bought something and then they wanted to shuffle in the ones that they know that are not good, just because they wanted to make out some money out of it. There is Nigerians that I don't even know how to put Nigeria in a bracket, or just like, let me just, but we just hope for the best for us.
Well, it's something the Nigerian government are very familiar with when it comes to making and trying to create another alliance with other countries for them to work together to make things work for them. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work for them, the people they are forming an alliance with, we don't want to come after them. That's our country for us. Moving
Exactly.
straight to the next story we have for you from Vanguard. The Akpoti Uduagba, no formal petition against Akpabio. The chairman of Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adamodu, said yesterday there was currently no formal petition against Senate President Godswill Akpabio over allegations of sexual harassment levelled against him by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. He also described Akpoti-Uduaghan allegation against the Senate President as a storm into the teacup, even as he insists that all senators, including Natasha Akpoti, must adhere to Senate rules in their conduct and utterance. Ajaero, who said this while featuring on Arise TV morning show monitored in Abuja yesterday, explained that the Senate as an institution would not react to speculation or issues raised on a TV program or other media platform. He noted that as the arm of government, parliamentary business will conduct within the confines of either the Senate or the House of Representatives. Well,
Well,
this
the
story, I don't think the Ada Amodu, that's the spokesperson president of the media and public affairs. I don't think he needs to come out publicly to make this kind of statement, because um, Akpoti, Natasha herself has come outside to say that okay, oh, this is what conspired between him and this
Fabio.
Akpabio. During the last time he had a small party in his house. Even
And all that. Well,
the
well,
husband even came out with all the statements she made about Akpabio trying to express his
desire.
feelings for her. and her husband was present in that same party.
Mm.
So I think this is where this issue is really coming from.
Well, the mix-up in trying Adaramadu was trying to actually says the fact that Godswill Akpabio has never been in any of that form of a scandal, but there was actually a news of a recent that actually accused him of the same thing, that a lady actually slapped him because of that sexual
Same
act.
thing.
So we are not going to be saying that he is not involved, because another person has
A
said
lot of
that
allegations on him.
before Natasha Poti came out to say the same thing. So this thing has to be dealt accordingly. If you are in the seat that you think that you have the power to actually go after people's partner, then you have to be accountable for your mistakes.
Mhm.
You should not be thinking that, oh, because you are now a leader or whatsoever, you don't have to be accountable for your mistake.
My own point is, most of all these leaders, they know that you are in the same position with just you working with your colleagues. The kind of relationship you show at your colleague is they tend to have effect, because they know you for who you are. Him being formerly he was a governor, he was a former governor of I think Akwa Ibom State or something, before being the Senate president. Apart from that, Natasha herself she's not small when it comes to
Yeah,
politics. So those kind of people, I don't expect them to have that kind of sexual feelings towards them, because they know it won't end where
well,
the all expected to end. But I think the Senate, if um
so
the Senate president is guilty of this allegation being levied against him, I think he really needs to change when it comes to it. He really needs to change.
exactly.
All right, moving forward to the next story we have for you from Vanguard today. Via fire consumes driver motor boy at Ibadan filling station. Two persons have been confirmed dead in a fire incident that occurred earlier Tuesday at the Orita Challenge outlet of Babstar petrol station in Ibadan. In a statement released by the General Manager, Oyo State Fire Service Agency, Mr. Yemi Akinyemi, a petrol tanker driver and his motorboy lost their life in the incident.
Mm.
Akinyinka said the fire service immediately deployed its men to the scene on receiving information after the fire at 5:15 a.m. Wow. I think that's the most ungodly hour for that kind of thing to happen.
I
Exactly.
was
And
saying
we
it.
expect
I was saying it yesterday that when something happens, when they call police or they call the 911, before they get to the scene, everything has
you know,
is bad already.
let me come in the point of view of this even the police. You mentioned the police and also the fire service. Let's put ourselves in their shoe. Most times, most people fail to call them at the right time.
Yeah.
You fail to call them at the right time, and they expect quick response. You don't expect to call a fire service when the fire starts immediately, or maybe a fire has gone into 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Before the fire service, they will need to confirm the call, confirm the location, and start moving out for them to even get there. Let's even talk about the road alone, Nigerian traffic and everything. For them to even get to a particular place, I tell you, that place should have been burnt down. First of all, we citizens need to try our
Possible best.
primary the local way of quenching the fire first before the fire service get there. You cannot just look at the fire burning, making
Talking
videos.
about
You
that,
have to start from
the
somewhere first.
local, the communicate, calling the firefighter at the right time is like Nigerians are not used to that, calling the emergency number when it's needed to, because they are going to be there to struggling themselves to actually before someone think that, before an idea we got into one person's brain and feels like, we can't do this alone, no, let's call the firefighter or let's call the security agency so that this thing can, because some people are out of fears, the ignorance of that, they will not answer, and then they feel like they can just do it on their own when they know that they actually need the assistance of the security agency or the firefighters.
Well, it's something we citizens and masses need to understand about first aid. It's not first aid. The first treatment you have to get you do something for before the experience people comes into place. All right, moving straight to the next story we have for you from Vanguard. NAFDAC warns against circulation of substandard insulin syringe. The National Agency for Food, Drug and Administration Control (NAFDAC) has raised the alarm over the illegal circulation and marketing of its substandard and falsified falsified medical products. The Knockwit insulin syringe 40 IU 29 gram in Nigeria. The agency issued the warning in a statement on Monday, highlighting concern from the Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria about the continued use of outdated 40 IU milliliter insulin syringe despite the availability of this standardized 100 IU milliliter syringe. Well, this is really
Well,
absurd, I tell you.
when I told you that Nigeria, we actually wanted to patronize anything that they know that it comes in a
Cheaper one.
cheaper one, so that they can get their money. Well, this thing that they are talking about, the syringes, is very, very concerning, because this time around is kind of very, I don't even know how to put it, because our both the pharmacy and the auxiliary, the people that needed to be in the health sector, if they are not being well trained or not being capable of some certain work, you don't have to put yourself into it. If you are going to open a health sector and then you know that you wanted to save life, you don't have to involve yourself in, let me say, a medical equipment that you know that this thing is no longer good for human health. Why do you open that health sector in the first place? You, as a pharmacy, you are buying drugs to sell to people that are sick, and then the drugs that you are buying is not actually a good one. You know that if this person take those drugs, it might cause another problem, but it still feels like
Still sell it out.
you still wanted to sell it out.
Well, I feel most pharmacists and auxiliary nurse, the health sectors, most of them are ignorant to the fact that they need to understand their patient well, because some people it's very wrong for you to get to a pharmacy or a chemist saying, okay, oh, this is how I feel. After explaining how you feel to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist asks you, okay, this is what you get. The next thing they will ask is how much is it? They will tell you a particular amount. The next thing that will come out from the customer's mouth is,
It's too
do
expensive.
you have a cheaper one?
Exactly.
That's the mistake most people make. Also, they prefer going for a cheaper way to treat themselves than a better and quality way to treat
Well,
themselves.
going for the cheaper one does not actually warrant the pharmacy or the auxiliary nurse to actually prescribe the drugs that is not supposed to, that it knows it doesn't have to be good for you. Yes, I know I don't have the money to buy the expensive one, but me asking for a cheaper one does not warrant you to give me the drugs that you know that is going to cause another problem to me.
You know, we have
I am sick and I came to you, explaining to you what is wrong with me. So if it's going to be in a place that everything is taken accordingly, okay, have you done a test? How do you know that this is what you are feeling inside? How do you know that this is the sickness you
one
are
of
having?
someone that does not have the money or that is not
No,
capable of doing tests.
this is not supposed to be a high rate. Doing all this in an insane country does not have to come with the cost of you spending over than what you already know that you don't have money for. If it's going to supposed to be a country that is working perfectly, having a medical checkup should not
Should be
cost,
free.
should not, exactly.
And but now we are in the country that if you want to do any
And that
medical
is what I'm
checkup,
trying to say.
you need money.
Even at
They will
that,
bill you if you don't bring 50,000 naira in an instant. You can't do anything. They will transfer you to another hospital. So what do you want them to do?
and I'm telling you that even at that, knowing that this is what is wrong with me, you don't have to give me the drugs that you know that, because you feels like this drug has been on your shelf for how long, and then I'm
You want to
asking
sell
for
it
a
away.
cheaper one. Instead of you to dispose it and say that it's no longer good, then you rather keep it and then wait for people that is going to be like they don't have enough money to purchase it, then you rather give it out. That is wickedness. That is heartlessness. If you know that this drug is about to expire, And someone feels sick and then they tell you that I can't afford the higher rate. Why don't you give me a cheaper one? Why will you want it to go for the one that you know that is about to expire just because you wanted to sell it out and not to lose gain?
I think the federal government really needs to look
Look upon
into
this.
this particular issue when it comes to our health and the health sector at the same time. All right, we've come to the end of today's program. Thank you for joining us today on the Breakfast Show. I have been your host, Stephen, and I hope you enjoyed today's program. Be sure to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe on all our social media platforms. Until next time, for now, we have to say bye. God bless.